In this very special episode, we're going to talk about my top 4 most downloaded fertility episodes of all time and why you need to listen to them now. Plus, there will be a very special giveaway announcement at the end that you don't want to miss. Welcome to the Finally Get Pregnant Naturally podcast, the podcast helping women identify the real reasons you haven't conceived or stayed pregnant so you and your partner can finally grow the family of your dreams. I'm your host, Dr. Katie Wood. Let's dive in, shall we? Hey, welcome back to the Finally Get Pregnant Naturally podcast. I am your host, Dr. Katie, and today, oh my gosh, we are celebrating episode 200. 200 episodes. I honestly cannot believe I'm recording that right now. Over 3 years later, 200 episodes, and so many of you who have been here through all of it. And I do not take that for granted for even 1 second. So today we are doing something really special. I'm super excited, and I'm going to be sharing my top 4 most downloaded episodes for the entirety that the podcast has been alive and running. And the ones that clearly have hit a nerve, the ones that you have come back to, shared with your friends, sent to your partners. And I want to give you a little spark notes of each one, plus share a little bit about where I was personally and energetically when I recorded them, because that context matters. And honestly, looking back, there is something really beautiful there, and I can see where there is a connection. And at the end, I have a very exciting giveaway announcement to celebrate this milestone with all of you. So please do not go anywhere and let's get into it. So, my top 4 most downloaded episodes, we're going to work our way up to the most downloaded episode. So, we're going to start with number 4. Episode 131, and that is the number one mistake women make when tracking their fertile window. I knew that this one was going to be a big one when I recorded it. So this one clearly resonated because almost every woman trying to conceive is using a tracking app or LH strips. And most have no idea that those tools are only predicting ovulation and not confirming it. So in this episode, I broke down why your cycle tracking app is essentially just making an educated guess based on an algorithm and averages, because at the end of the day, an app does not know your body. And LH strips, well, they tell you that your body is attempting to ovulate, not that it actually did or what the quality of that ovulation was. So for women with PCOS, high stress, or irregular cycles, this can mean that you are missing your fertile window entirely without even realizing it. So I walked you through all the tools, especially my favorite ones, that actually give you a full fertility picture: fertile cervical mucus, basal body temperature, home hormone tracking devices that measure PDG, which is a progesterone metabolite that confirms ovulation happened and gives you an insight into the quality of that ovulation and the quality of your luteal phase and progesterone as well. So let's talk about the energy that I was in when I recorded that episode. So I was actually pregnant when I recorded most of these summer episodes. I was growing my second baby and also watching so many of my clients get pregnant around the same exact time that I was recording in the summer. There was this beautiful, full, abundant energy in that season. Like the work was just flowing and the results were undeniable. And I think that that really shines through in this episode. It feels grounded and clear because not only was I living proof, but my clients were also living proof that the foundations that I teach them work. And they work quickly too. Honestly, the majority of my clients conceived in around 3 months in the summertime. All right, now we're going to talk about my number 3 most downloaded episode, episode 154. And that is from inflammation to implantation, how your gut gut-vaginal connection impacts your fertility. So this one is so close to my heart because the gut microbiome connection is something conventional medicine is never going to talk about in the context of fertility. And yeah, it is one of the most common hidden roadblocks that I see and plays a very big role in my root cause Fertile as a Mother one-on-one program in the testing that I use with my clients. So in this episode, I explained how your gut and vaginal microbiomes are in constant communication with each other. And when the gut is out of balance, like dysbiosis, chronic inflammation, poor estrogen metabolism through what's called the estrobolome, it changes the entire vaginal environment. And a vaginal microbiome that's low in protective lactobacillus species and high in harmful bacteria has been directly linked to failed implantation and early miscarriage. So the thing that really gets people is that you can actually be completely symptom free and still have significant microbiome imbalance. No obvious bloating, no infection signs, and still something is quietly disrupting your ability to conceive or carry. And honestly, the majority of my clients are asymptomatic, which means they have no symptoms, but their vaginal microbiome tests and their gut tests are actually showing us otherwise, and that they do have a lot of active infections and imbalances present. So, around the time that I recorded this episode, I actually had a client who had experienced 5 miscarriages. We ran her vaginal microbiome testing and found significant dysbiosis in strains that were specifically linked to not being fertility friendly, and they can contribute to a hostile environment for sperm implantation and survival. And there was just no protective flora at all. So after working on this together, as well as other foundations, she is now carrying a healthy pregnancy. And I was recording this episode while living out that story in real time. And I think that that's why it landed the way that it did. So let's talk about the second most downloaded episode, episode 134. 5 signs your egg quality is optimal and what to do if it's not. So, egg quality is one of the most researched, most feared, and most misunderstood topics in the fertility space. Women are being told left and right that their eggs are old, their AMH is low, and that they're running out of time. And then they're left with no roadmap, no actionable steps for what to actually do about it, for what they can actually do about it. And this episode was my answer to all of that. The big reframe I wanted to give in this episode is that your egg quality isn't fixed. It's not linear. Egg quality is dynamic. It is influenced by your nutrition, your inflammation levels, your mitochondrial health, your stress, your blood flow, things that you can actually shift in real time and change for the better. And I walked through 5 signs that you can observe right now that tell you a lot about where your egg quality stands, such as your cycle regularity, your ovulation signs, the health of your luteal phase and progesterone, your cervical mucus quality, and your hormone labs like FSH and estradiol. And then, crucially, what you can start doing in the next 3 to 4 months to improve all of that for yourself. So, the energy that I was in during this episode, again, I was pregnant, thriving, and surrounded by clients who were getting pregnant as well. And I remember being in this really empowered place last summer. Like everything I had built in my practice and my protocols was just working beautifully. And I wanted to pour that confidence directly into my listeners of the podcast because egg quality has been such a source of fear and hopelessness for so many women I'd worked with. And I just wanted to cut through all that noise and give people real, actionable clarity. And honestly, I had a client in her early 40s. They had been struggling to conceive for about 2 years. She had experienced a miscarriage previously. We worked on these foundations. She was pregnant by the end of my 3-month Fertile as a Mother program. And it just goes to show that even if you've been told by your doctor that you're too old to conceive, your AMH is too low, your eggs are old, It is still possible because you only need one egg. All right, here we go. My number one most downloaded episode was episode 146. 8 hidden causes of recurrent miscarriage your doctor isn't testing for. And this number one most downloaded episode of all time really hit the hardest because so many of you have experienced pregnancy loss and some recurrent pregnancy loss and are just being told it's bad luck, it's normal, and some doctors refuse to do testing until you experience multiple losses, which is just absolutely ridiculous. So this episode was my direct response to that. I went through 8 root causes that are pretty much almost never investigated until after 3 or more losses, and some that are never investigated at all, like undiagnosed thyroid dysfunction, even with a TSH that looks normal, hidden infections like vaginal imbalances, or even low-grade uterine inflammation that has no apparent symptoms. MTHFR and methylation issues affecting blood flow and folate conversion, blood clotting disorders, progesterone insufficiency that's being tested at the wrong point in the cycle, nutrient deficiencies, oxidative stress affecting egg chromosomal health, immune dysregulation, and sperm DNA fragmentation, which can cause miscarriage even when the semen analysis looks fine. And recurrent miscarriage is not random. It's a message from your body, and there are answers waiting for you. You just have to know where to look. So this was September when I recorded this one. Again, I was pregnant, and so were so many of my clients at this time, including one that I had previously mentioned in this episode who had experienced 5 prior losses. And actually, around this time, I had started working with another client who had also experienced 5 previous losses. And the root causes I was talking about in this episode were things that I was actively investigating and addressing for real women in my practice at the same exact time. That is not a coincidence. When you are doing the work and seeing the results, it shows you how to teach from an embodied way. So those are my 4 most downloaded episodes of all time. And honestly, looking at them together, I am not surprised these are the ones that resonated the most. Fertile window tracking, gut microbiome connection, egg quality, recurrent miscarriage. These are the topics that sit at the heart of what so many of you are navigating every single day. And they are the exact areas where conventional medicine tends to leave you with the least answer. So if you have not listened to any of these 4 episodes yet, I highly suggest you go back and do it. And even if you have, maybe it's time to revisit them with a fresh set of eyes and ears, because where you are in your journey now is probably very different from where you were the first time you listened to them. Okay, now for the super exciting part, the giveaway announcement. Entries are open now. The deadline is February 28th at the end of the day. So we are celebrating 200 episodes, and I wanted to mark this milestone in a real way, and that means giving back to you, my listeners, the people who made this possible. So here is what we're doing. Anyone who leaves a review on Apple Podcasts or a rating on Spotify and also follows the podcast, and then if you share proof with me, is going to receive access to my biggest needle mover of my fertility foundations. This is the content I have every single client begin with, and it's yours just for showing up and leaving a quick review. And then from that pool of reviews, I'm going to pull 3 winners who are going to be chosen for a virtual VIP day with me. A one-on-one fertility snapshot of where we're going to go through your full picture, your labs, your history, your lifestyle, and identify the specific foundations that are going to move the needle most for your body and your fertility. We're going to build you a personalized, targeted plan not a generic one-size-fits-all protocol, and a real roadmap built specifically for you. So if you have been overwhelmed, confused, or just wondering where to start, this is meant for you. So, step one, leave a written review on Apple Podcasts or a star rating on Spotify. Step two, follow the podcast on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And then step three, just simply send me a screenshot to my Instagram at _the_wellness_pharmacist, or you can email me. The links are right below in the show notes. Now, remember, entries close February 28th at the end of the day, and every single person who enters gets the Fertility Foundation's content, and 3 people will also win a VIP day. There is no losing here, right? Everybody will come out a winner. So thank you so much. 200 episodes in, and I'm more passionate about this work than I have ever been. I will see you in episode 201 on Thursday, where we will discuss my top 3 lessons I've learned and how they relate to your fertility. I'll see you there. Are you ready to finally discover why you haven't been able to get or stay pregnant? The Ultimate Fertility Blueprint is a quick, insightful quiz designed to reveal your overall capacity to conceive and help you discover potential root causes and areas to address to improve your fertility so you can finally get and stay pregnant. You'll find the link in the show notes. As a quick reminder and disclaimer, this podcast is for educational purposes only and is not a substitute for medical advice. Always consult your doctor or healthcare provider before starting any new supplement or protocol, especially if you're actively trying to conceive or undergoing treatment.